Hello, everybody. Hi, happy Saturday. Welcome to the Sacred Blueprint for Our New Earth interview series. I am so delighted you are all here. We've got hundreds of people joining from different parts of the globe to hear from the world's leading earth energy experts. I'm Aisha Rose Melody Hassan, and I am your host for this series. I'm an alchemical healer, architect, and creator of the Sacred Blueprint, a cutting edge vessel of courses and programs for property owners and designers to birth their healing and dream sanctuaries through a new modality that bridges spirit and architecture. This series is a response to a very urgent call I've been receiving on high volume from Mother Earth and the nature spirits. It's about exploring what's possible when we partner with the wisdom of nature to design and build healing sanctuaries for our future. Whether these sanctuaries are your homes, your gardens, communities you may be wanting to build, visions for the city, the question is, how can we collaborate with nature and the spirit of the land in a practical and conscious way? All of our amazing 8 guest speakers who have joined this circle have been and continuing to answer this question by sharing their years of practical experience and knowledge, teaching and designing with earth energies. Now, before moving on, I'd like to thank Geometric Models for sponsoring this event and aligning with the impulse of the Sacred Blueprint. It's such an honor to be collaborating with this superb research group who's dedicated to investigating Mother Nature's sacred geometries. If you're interested in sacred geometry, modeling, and design, then please don't forget to check out their website at www.geometricmodels.com for educational tools. Now, before I introduce our next guests, we will be opening up the bonus Q&A session at the end of our talk at about 50 minutes. The Q&A button is on the bottom right-hand corner of the Zoom bar. You click on it and you can type out your questions to our guests. We ask you hold your questions until the end, until we open it up. And this bonus session is not available on the recordings, so make sure you join live for after this session. It is our last 2 days, so make sure you join live to benefit from some one-on-one time with our guests. The recordings are up for 48 hours after my team uploads them. You get a notification, an email telling you when it's up and ready. You have access to the recordings via a login information that was sent via email. If you haven't received that, check your spam and promotions folders just in case it got forwarded there. So our next guests, they are authors and energetic geometry experts, and they have been teaching and researching and playing in the world of earth energies, geomancy, sacred geometry, sacred solar architecture, and all the amazing harmonious structures that we find in sacred sites. They lead groups to tours to ancient megaliths, standing stones, and ancient sites, and they are the authors of numerous books. They've got some workshops that they're going to tell us about, and some tips for the equinox. The equinox begins tomorrow, so I'm excited to hear about that. So let's welcome them in, Karen Crowley and Dominique Susani. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Nice to have you on the show.
Well, thank you very much. We're happy to be here.
And are you joining from France right now?
we are
Yeah.
in the country.
Okay. And what region in France are you in? Brittany, was it?
Brittany, yes.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, when when I just started discovering you, I was on through Instagram actually, and I noticed that you were, standing next to these tall, huge megaliths and stones, and so immediately got drawn in. I'm like, these two know about energy. And then when I researched a bit more about you, I was so surprised to hear, Karen, that you were a pilot and an art historian, and you, Dominique, a professor of literature and philosophy. How did you both get into the world of earth energies? Were you dousing while you were in the airplane, Karen? Like somehow. Well,
Absolutely not.
how did you get into this world of earth energies and geomancy?
I had babies. And I moved into a home that was near a power substation with high tension wires behind it. So I was looking for some solutions.
What
My
was
hus-
going on, Karen? Were you extremely sensitive to what was going on
um, well,
energetically
my
then?
former husband, I was I was in California with a newborn and a 1.5-year-old, and so we decided we were going to move. He was a pilot, and so we were going to move to Denver or Denver area. So he decided to look for houses, and so he bought the one that he thought was fantastic. And so I drove up there and looked in the backyard and went, "Uh-oh." I don't know why I thought.
Oh, and you don't know why. Like you weren't a geomancer back then, right? Okay, so you're just like, uh-oh, okay, yeah.
No, I knew that it's not good to
Yeah, yeah,
live by high tension wires.
yeah, yeah.
He had no clue. So then I spent years looking for a solution. I tried a lot of different things until I got a weird email saying Druid Geomancy, which I was like, oh, I have to learn about this. This sounds cool.
Wow.
And it happened to be Dominique. He was teaching in Santa Fe 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago. And it just, uh, by the end of the second day, we were talking and I just said, you have to come to Boulder. I'll organize classes for you. I need to learn this stuff.
Love at first sight.
I know. No, I had my family. He had his family.
Okay, so yeah.
No, it was more me saying.
Okay, so you met way back. Okay.
Way back, yeah. And so we knew each other, in I'm organizing classes.
Yeah, like colleagues. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, baby. That evolved later after we got divorces.
Yeah. Wow.
Life
But the
happened.
seed got planted, I guess. Yeah. Amazing.
Hmm.
Wow. And so okay, through an email, you immediately, and then you got, I guess it finds you, right?
Yeah,
When you're meant to do it, it finds you.
it seems. Yeah.
How about you, Dominique?
Oh,
How did you get
you
into
know,
this world?
I began these things when I was nine, 19 years old. I was with a group of young guys, and we went to a Templar place in the south of France. It's called Brignoles. And we were looking for the last caves where the Templar were mm, living and trying to escape to the King of France, the
Yeah.
Philippe le Bel in the beginning of the 14th century, and we were researching there. I didn't know exactly what I was doing there.
Like detective work, right? Yeah.
and so we went to a cave in the Verdon Canyon. Uh, it's well in the
Is
south of
this
France.
Carcassonne region or no?
No, no, no. It's far to southeast.
Okay.
It's near maybe to give an idea, Cannes, for
Okay.
example, Nice, for
Yep.
example,
Yep.
by there. So and we were doing an experience it was a cave with a little altar, and we were five, and one of our guys began to lie down on the altar, and we did a kind of ceremony, etc. And
You're like
in a
19 years
moment,
old.
the guy made a jump of 5 meters, where he was expelled of the altar and say, what is that?
What do you mean?
And
Like he got like a jolt of energy or something? Or
I never understood that, but
okay.
he did a jump of 4 or 5 meters, but like that, and so he was traumatized. He was traumatized because really traumatized because he fell down,
Oh my goodness.
and he fell down of 4 meters. He did
A dive.
and we were traumatized too, but he
Yeah.
was hurt, and we quit the cave. But I had that idea after, in my mind, what was there, what happened there, etc. And I was preoccupied. I did my studies of philosophy in the Sorbonne, etc. And then uh, I began to live in the countryside, and uh, my wife was very fond of horses, and I gave her a horse for her birthday. I I did a gift of a nice horse, and she wanted to look, to watch people, to see with people what going on about horses,
Mm,
veterinaries.
mm.
When you dive in the horse stuff, you dive in the veterinary stuff, and it's a world, okay.
Yeah.
And she was told that there was a fantastic veterinary near where we live, and because we had some land, and so she wanted to find that veterinary. We went there to that place, and in a moment she saw a standing stone in the middle of one field, uh, um, and it was surrounded by a rope. And so she asked to the owner, what's going on with that kind of marble stone in the middle of the field? Why there are the he said, the veterinary came. He said that the grass in the field was not very good, so I had to put a stone. He told me, you're going to put a stone there, and you are going to get a better quality of grass, and the energy of the place is going to be well, etc., etc. So my wife said, I want a stone like that in my in my
I want my
property.
grass to be good quality.
I want a stone like that. Okay, so we
Okay.
we found the guy, the veterinary, and he came at home. I remember it was on a Ford Orion, you know, an old dude like me, and step down and say, hello, how are you? stop the electricity, cut off the electricity of your house. Say, what?
He
Yes, we're going
immediately
to.
said that was one of the first things he said. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And okay, we did, okay, why not? And he began, he took a pair of roadmaster, he began to douse in the house, etc. And say, oh, he say,
Like nothing, it's not good, he's saying.
Yeah.
this is bad. You have a big fault by there, it's water there, and you have to do something there. Okay. And so okay, we talk a little bit more with him, and my wife said, okay, and what about the stone? She was
She
wrong
wants
with
the
the
stone.
stone. And he said, yes, the stone. Okay. So he told me, okay, take two sticks, and follow me, And so he took his dozen rods. He began to run, like running, with the
Really
dozen
fast?
rods, you know. And we did 500 meters like that, and me following with the sticks in my hand, And at the moment, the dozen rod cross, and he say, okay, put a stick there. Okay, I put the stick there, and he said, okay, you are going, took his pendulum, he had a pendulum, he took his pendulum, he said, oh, you are going to put a stone about 1 meter and 1.8 meters there. What? Say stone of 1.8 meter, it's
Really
6 feet,
tall.
6 feet stone, it's big stone. Say, where I'm going to find that? You say, oh, you are going to the Sidor. Well, it's a region where there are a lot
There are
of
lots of stone.
stones and also a lot of megaliths, etc. And so we did, etc. And after that, we talked with him, and he told us, oh, I'm going to die, soon. Okay, so and I say to him, okay, but you should pass your knowledge,
Oh, John,
to somebody, before
before
you
you
die.
die.
And so I say, yes, why not? So we began to organize a kind of class, for the bodies around, that were interested. And we did a group, and we learned geomancy, we learned about the churches, and we learned that this guy, in fact, was the father of the geobiology in France. It was the guy.
Okay.
He was the guy, and he was at the same time the father of the veterinary homeopathy, because he wrote the first encyclopedia of homeopathy for animals.
Wow.
So it was a big guy, really a big guy. And so I began I start, to
Yeah.
to learn with him, and then little by little I knew some people, and more interested by geometry, by energetic geometry, etc. Like Raymond Montercy, for example, who is a big guy, about an electric engineer, and who taught me about geomancy also, and energetical geometry, the geometry of the master builders, etc. So it's what I'm doing
Amazing.
now.
What an incredible story. Incredible. And I'm sure now you're passing a lot of your knowledge on to others as well through your workshops and your research and your books. Can you share about your research in sacred solar geometry, uh, ancient temples, churches? You know, these builders of the time, builders and architects, what secrets did they know about energy and how to design these structures to benefit us, to benefit our bodies, our souls? Can you share about
Well,
your I
that's
know it's a huge question.
that's complicated. It's a huge question. Huge question. Yes.
But a good
Uh,
one.
um, maybe we can begin with the first temples, if you want. The first temples and the relation they had with the sun.
Hmm.
Sun temples. In Brittany, in this place where we are, we have a kind of, well, we call that a cromlech. A cromlech,
Karnak.
a cromlech. It's mostly a ring, a stone ring, okay. Or but you have also, for example, in Brittany, we have stone rings. We have uh, eggs rings, egg-shaped rings in Karnak, for example.
Mm.
Maybe you
Right, like
you heard about Karnak, okay?
yes.
And these big files
Rows of stones.
of
Oh,
big
right, like
stone.
actually like rows going
Yes,
along
yes,
in
yes.
a
Of,
line. Yeah.
of, of several kilometers long, okay? And at each extremity of this row of stones, there are two cromlechs, one on each extremity, and these cromlechs have an egg shape. One is what we call a geometrical egg, okay, and it's done with solar geometry.
Hmm.
But you have to know the solar geometry to
Yeah,
understand.
like what can you share
Okay,
a
so
little bit more of what that is, the solar geometry?
solar geometry. So coming back to Crocuno, it's a square or a rectangular cromlech, which is very close to Karnak. And when you analyze this rectangle, you find that it is a rectangle that shows the pattern of the sun, the year pattern of the sun, which means that it is oriented north, south, east, west, and the corners of these rectangles are showing the summer solstice sunrise, winter solstice sunrise, summer solstice sunset, and winter solstice sunset.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have, so in this pattern, you have all the main patterns of geometry, of the solar geometry.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have, for example, the 7 directions for, for the ancient caves, for example, like Lascaux, for example, Altamira, all the big caves, the painted caves, in Europe, but not all in Europe
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
They have a door that is connected to the sun at the summer solstice, at the winter solstice, at the equinox, and for the summer solstice sunrise, or etc., etc. The 6 directions plus the vertical directions. So these are the 7 sacred directions.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you know the pattern of the sun according with the latitude of the place, because the pattern of the sun change with the latitude.
Right, depending on where you are in the world, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
because the earth is spinning like that around the sun with the ecliptic angle. So you have seasons because of that, etc. Okay, and so each latitude has his own pattern, and when you know that, and when you make, this is the beginning of the mandala of the place, what we call the mandala, the sacred pattern of the place. And when you know that, you can find the geometry of the elements.
Okay.
And this is the big secret underlying.
And when you say elements, you mean water,
I mean,
air, fire, and
absolutely,
earth.
absolutely, and ether,
And ether or
in the fifth
akasha. Yeah.
element,
Yeah.
ether, which is what the Chinese call the chi, for example, or they call the prana, for the Hindus, etc. And so we work with that.
Okay.
Because when it's a world, you know, when you
I know it's like
when you make, you know, the sun pattern of the place, in the place, with some sticks or some weight, you know, to activate the place, you are going to see or to feel, depends of the people, you know, because some people, they see the energies, other they feel the energies, other they feel in their body sensations, etc., you know, but everybody has a feeling, okay, everybody. So and so when you see the energies, for example, you can see, for example, what we call the magic squares. So the magic squares appears at the entrance of the solstitial quadrilateral. And maybe you heard about those magic squares, the square of Saturn that the Feng Shui people employ, for example. Okay, the Lo Shu square, but we have in the European tradition and the
as well. Okay.
we are going to say Egyptians, Greeks, okay, Romans, etc., and people of Turkey, because Turkey was one of the big centers of the humanity, with the fantastic Göbekli Tepe.
Oh yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is one of the center of the civilization, and so these people, they found several different magic squares that are Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon, and the Earth even. Okay, and so these things appears in front of the entrance of the solstitial quadrilateral. And so that is that is what says to you, you did a sacred structure. Means you connect the earth with the sun. Okay, this is the way we work, and that means when you connect the earth with the rhythm of the sun, what happens is that the energy on the place change.
Okay.
It becomes balance, and there, when it becomes balance, what happens is that vegetables and animals, they grow better.
And people.
And people too. And people too.
Don't forget those people.
and so
all the kingdoms, right?
And so I remember, for example, we did that in Catalonia in a house, and 6 months after, I saw the owner of the house, and he say, "Oh, I got 4 or 5 kilos more, you know."
Of produce, right? Of
No, wait.
oh
Wait,
oh,
wait,
I thought you
wait,
were talking about potatoes or
wait.
something. Okay, okay.
No, it was wait. It was wait. And I told her, yes, you make more profit with the food you eat, so you have to
Eat less.
you have to eat less.
There's abundance flowing then, right? In
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
spaces.
Yeah.
that's the point. That's the point. And the abundance, because you have the chi, you have the energy of the sun coming, and balancing the place. And so this is what we do with houses. We put an envelope around the house made with some weight around the house.
I like how you refer to it as weight, like just like anchoring it, whatever that
Yes,
may be,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
yes. You need to
You
anchor
need to
the
have
place.
weight.
We say that we need around 80 pounds of weight to make a good a good corner, at least. And more you put, and better it is.
Yeah.
For example,
Like the foundation cornerstones and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yes, and you see, for example, the temples, the Greek temples, for example, they have huge columns, stamping, very, 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 very
Very,
hard
very.
Very heavy. Yeah.
to get the energy. And when you get inside the temple, you feel a little bit, well, it's too much energy at the beginning. After your body,
Right.
compensates,
Acclimates to
etc.
that energy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's at the beginning, it's too much. It is a little bit, wow. And so this is what we do.
This is amazing. And then can you share then okay, the energetics of a temple are different than the energetics of our home or our gardens. How do you guide your clients through working with energetics on their properties that feel good for their soul and feel good for the scale of the house? Because you're saying the Greek temple, right? Like that's a powerful energy with all the weight, all the weight, all the weight, all the weight. And during the times where the ancient temples were active, the the regular public wasn't really invited to go in all the time. It wasn't like high traffic. The priests were there
Mhm.
guarding the sacred altar, and maybe the
Yeah.
mysteries schools and the high initiates.
Mhm.
But in this day and age, in a way, we're all initiates. That's what I feel. We're all awakening. But how to work within in a way where it's comfortable for our homes. Like you were
So you are
mentioning in the
right.
previous conversation that
No, no.
sometimes it can be too much energy, right?
Okay,
Absolutely.
you're right. You're right. So
Or it depends on the person, right?
depends also on the person,
But
but you have to be careful. So in fact, what we do is a temple is powered by okay, the solstitial quadrilateral that makes, but it's more complex than that. A temple is much more complex than that. But we're going to say, okay, this solstitial quadrilateral, okay, and it's powered by the underneath energies, the energies of the water that are circulating underneath the temple. Without water, you don't have any temple. You don't get nothing. Nothing.
There's no channeling or transmitting
Nothing.
activation of
No,
that energy.
no
Okay.
healing, nothing. Because the power of healing of a temple comes from the water. It comes, of course, from the architect, the intelligence of the architect, okay? Because to make a temple like Didima, we were talking about Didima, for example, to make a temple like Didima, you have to be very, very clever and smart, very smart.
This is the Temple of Apollo in
Yeah,
Didim, Turkey, that Dominique
yes,
is referring to.
absolutely. And so what you see that there, for example, is that there is a well, because each sacred place is connected to a well. This is the big thing, you know, of a sacred place. You have the water, and the water is a sacred well. First, it was a sacred well, and then it became a temple. Because the water had some healing qualities.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we know the healing qualities of the ganja in India, for example.
Yeah.
We know the healing qualities of the water in France, in Lourdes, you know,
or all those spas, like the natural healing waters that you could go in, the
absolutely.
mineral waters. Yeah.
Chartres was a place like that, you know, where they were healing.
Originally, it was the water.
It was the water.
Yeah. Okay.
Was the water, and the center, one of the center of the cathedral, is a well, what that called the well of the Saint-Fort, le puits de Saint-Fort, which is the best thing of the cathedral, but nobody knows. You know, it's hidden there
underneath.
Everyone's looking up, right?
And so they look at the vaults,
the stained glass.
Okay. And in the tradition, we say the vaults is to bewitch people.
Aha.
The word in French is envoûter.
Envoûter, yeah.
Envoûter. Envoûter means to bewitch the people.
Yeah.
And so this is the stuff of the vaults, you know. They're nice. They're nice.
Of course, and they contribute, of course, as well to the experience.
Absolutely. But you know, the water is one of the main things. Without water, you don't have any sacred structure, or you can have. And so
like in our homes, our properties, how you're working with. I'm not sure if I diverted your train of thought there, but
no. What we do with the houses is that we change the influence of the water. So we make the solstitial quadrilateral around the house, but we harmonize. We say we harmonize the water. We have techniques, you know, to neutralize the influence of the water, because you have healing waters, but you have the contrary. The
ones that kind of drain us from our
life. It's worse than that. It's worse than that. It's much worse. Most of the people are they become sick because the water.
Mm-hmm. It's the toxicity of the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know. For example, you think that trees, they love water. Okay.
Mm.
And you have seen leaning trees like that,
Right. Yeah.
okay? And so if you go to the foot of the tree here, you're going to find a water vein going by there. And so the tree is trying
Oh,
to get out of the
there's one
influence of
like
the
that's
water.
like this in my mother's garden. I swear it's like
Yes,
totally
and so
45 degrees.
you have the tree like that. You have the tree like that, and then he begins to make this. After doing that, he does this. Okay, and here it is out of the influence of the water.
There's a certain range above the ground level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and how wide the water influences.
yeah.
Right.
So it grows out of the until it gets out of the influence of the water vein. So it goes and then whoop.
But there's a distinction between the healing water, the pure healing water that is found in these ancient sites that you're talking about, and the detrimental water path. Is that
Absolutely.
correct?
Detrimental is the good word. Yes, and so you have to be careful with that. And the Germans, for example, the guys, the Hartmann School and
Yeah.
biology
Yeah.
in Germany, they are good. They're good guys, you know. They say one of the doctors of the Hartmann, I don't remember the name of the guy, but he said 70% of the diseases, of the degenerative diseases, come from the earth. And they demonstrate that, you know, there was a physicist called Andros, who did a lot of measurement on people to see what happens when somebody is on a water vein, a detrimental water vein, you know, and he found that the thyroid, for example, is going up.
Oh my
The,
God. Yeah.
the adrenals are going up, you know, and the other glands, they are going or two-thirds down, you know, the production of hormones. And so
Yeah.
that makes exactly the same the same effect if you are in a stressful situation.
Situation.
Okay, and if you sleep there, you are going to stay there 8 hours in that kind of situation.
Yeah, and when we sleep, we have our shield down. You know,
Absolutely.
there's other, we're much more susceptible, right? To
Absolutely, absolutely. And the other problem is that uh, you are not able to figure out that because you don't know, and you think it's fantastic. You have a nice bed, etc. You know, I love my bed. You know,
Very comfortable.
no, because I say always in my classes, you know, you spend 8 hours in your bed. You should have a bed better than your car.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. It's a vehicle for healing.
Yeah,
It's a vehicle for, yeah, total healing. It's so important, right? Our sleeping
yeah, yeah,
space. Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of disease come from the place
Sleep.
where you sleep. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and so we try. It's for that reason that we try to harmonize the waters in the houses. Okay, and so we put the solstice or quadrilateral, so we balance the energy of the place, and we try to avoid the energy of the waters.
Right. Can you do this from a distance?
You can do that.
Just curious if others are interested in different parts of the world and if they want to consult you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did tries with that.
Wait, no. What she's saying is, do we do consultations from a distance?
Oh, yes. This is.
Okay. Yeah. And is
Oh,
it
yes.
possible to guide your clients if they're in,
Absolutely.
I don't
Yes.
know, like
Yes.
Ethiopia, right? Or wherever.
Oh, yes. We do that. We do that.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Because
And
travel is also, challenging these days. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
and even I can say we are very cheap. Yes, for the job. For
Everyone!
the job. For the job, we are very cheap. For the job, we are very cheap.
Yeah.
It's, because for doing that, you need to be able to feel the energies at the distance. So there are not a lot of people that are able to do that, and you have to feel also the energy of the people that you are talking with, etc. So and then we have to make the geometry of the place.
You're working with the maps and everything, so yeah.
It takes a lot of time, and if people are curious,
happy.
then people are happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
Okay, oh good, fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. You have a couple images that you'd like to share. Karen, would you like to guide us through some of those? Are they, are some of these images showing the sacred solar geometry, or are they more the churches of Santa Fe? I want to talk about that too. I mean, we are coming close to an end, but I don't mind extending the talk a little bit longer because we want to hear about this new book. What is it called?
Sacred
Santa Fe, The Hidden Geometry of Churches. So I'd love to hear about that. We want to hear about your workshop. Heal your home. I mean, there's a lot. And the equinox, right? You have some tips for us about the equinox. I know there's lots. It went by really fast. I'm going to extend this. Yeah, I'm going to extend this interview just a little bit longer because there's so many goodies. If you feel called to share the images that selected.
The two images are from our book, Sacred Santa Fe.
Okay, so then it's a perfect bridge. Karen, if you'd like to share about the book while showing the images, or
yeah, we can.
Okay, great.
Okay. I share about the book.
Yeah, as you wish. Just give Christy, my assistant, a cue when you want to show an image. Yeah.
Well, we can put them up. The book is about 4 different churches in Santa Fe.
Okay.
Which one is this? This one is Guadalupe?
This one is Guadalupe.
Yeah. Okay, well, what's
special about these churches, Karen?
Okay. They're built by master builders. And so we started with the first church, the oldest church of supposedly in the United States, which is the Mission of San Miguel. And we were wondering if it was built by a master builder. And so we had a workshop back in 2003 where we investigated a bunch of its energies, and we realized it was built by a master builder. And those were the Spaniards at that time, and they were Franciscan monks that came and did all the churches there. So this is not the Mission of San Miguel. It's the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is the oldest shrine dedicated to Guadalupe in the United States. And what
Guadalupe energy is she? What's her energy?
What we found mostly with churches dedicated to Mary are they're mostly heart energy. They open your heart. Lots of times there's fertility energy because many of these churches were built on much older sites, and a lot of waters relate to fertility. And so it's one way that the Christian churches use that energy, was using it for Mary or Guadalupe. So this church shows a row of all the little rectangles that you see vertically. Those are solstitial quadrilaterals of Santa Fe. So it's the solar rectangle that's related to Santa Fe. And there's 7 of them. And then with this, why there, okay, there's 4 of them. I mean, you see that's a yellow color.
Yeah.
A layer.
Oh, okay. The ones that are filled in yellow.
Yeah, the filled in yellow.
Left. Yep.
The architecture, he also worked with different rectangles related to the golden mean. And in our tradition, we call them dynamic rectangles.
Mhm.
And this particular dynamic rectangle is really special. It's the root of 5. Root of 6. It's the root of 5 dynamic rectangle. And what's really, really fantastic about the latitude of Santa Fe is that 4 solar rectangles of Santa Fe fit into this root of 5 golden mean rectangle, which you don't find very many places at all. And so here we have Guadalupe, and the Franciscan monks discovered this pattern because they used it in their church. And so it helps bring the energy, the solar energy, into the church, but also raises the vibration up using the connection to life and the golden mean energy. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No.
Okay. So that's one.
Yeah. Amazing. And the other one.
The other drawing.
Yeah.
Because what is interesting is the other drawing. That one.
And so what church is this one?
This is Loretto Chapel. And Loretto Chapel was built in the 19th century by there was the Sisters of Loretto, and the Archbishop Lamy. He was a French guy, and he wanted to build his own cathedral that was befitting a powerful place, because there was a St. Francis, which you don't see here. St. Francis of Assisi was an old adobe building, a church, and it had become a cathedral. And now the guy, he wanted something special. He came from France, so he wanted something that was beautiful and echoed European architecture. So he contracted a father-son team of master builder architects from France, and they came over and started building his cathedral. And while they were a period of no money time, they designed the Chapel of Loretto for the Sisters of Loretto. And as you can see, you got the 4 solstitial quadrilaterals of
that particular area.
And within the golden mean rectangle. And the guy, he, a couple hundred years later, he found the same pattern. Whether he studied the churches that were there before, probably because San Miguel has the same type of form with a hexagon apse. So it's a
it's the pattern of the place.
It's the pattern of the place, yeah. The hexagon is very connected to the sun in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So they use San Miguel and Loretto, and also there's
Guadalupe.
And Guadalupe, but I was going to talk about the hexagon.
The hexagon.
The hexagon was used in San Miguel, the little chapel of the Conquistadora in there's an older part of the St. Francis Church, and then and this one. So you have the hexagonal apps. That's fantastic. It brings in much more energy because it's using a solar pattern
Wow.
that's of the place. And the guy, he doubled it. You know, he made the little sacristy at the end. It's the same pattern exactly, except it's smaller, so it's a little bit more powerful.
Oh, you're talking about that other
what is
one.
funny?
Oh, at the one, I see, the one at the very, very end. Yeah. Wow.
What is funny is that the best energy is in the sacristy.
Right at the end there?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just thinking this is like a rocket ship or something, you know?
Yeah.
And so you have both been in these churches, experienced what it's felt like to be there?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming since you've written a book about it. So yeah. Wow.
You have to go. You
Yeah.
have to go there. If not,
Yeah. It's so interesting. New Mexico is also, yeah, we're talking about New Mexico, right? Just to be just checking that there isn't any other Santa Fe that you're talking about. But I've been very drawn to New Mexico as well. Like, I gotta go there. I gotta go there. So for many years now, actually. So I gotta make a trip and witness these churches with your book as a guide. Can Can we purchase the book now? Is it available for purchase, or is it almost done, or is it, yeah, are the editors editing it? Like, what's up with that? Yeah.
We're self-publishing, and
Okay.
that's been my job. It's been a steeper learning curve. So we're trying to upload it, and I have to redo some drawings because they're not exactly right. April, it should be.
Oh, okay.
ready
That's
to
pretty
order.
close.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And will it be available as an ebook as well?
Yes.
Okay,
We're gonna
great.
upload it as an ebook. It'll be available on our website. It'll be available on Amazon, and hopefully
Awesome.
in all the Santa Fe bookstores. We hope
Yeah.
to get it in there too.
Yeah, amazing.
No,
So the hidden geometry of churches, beautiful.
it's
Yes,
not
Dominique.
only a book on Santa Fe churches. It's also a book about geometry, because you are going to find all the beginning
There's a lot.
of the geometry, the energetical geometry inside.
Amazing. Wonderful. Oh, well, we look forward to reading it. We look forward to reading it. Everyone keep a note of that. Santa Fe, the hidden geometry of churches. Um, okay, then you've got some workshops that you're offering as well. I think there's one coming up. Is that correct? The Heal Your Home
We have
workshop?
actually two.
Okay.
We
Okay,
changed.
share, please. Yeah, so our participants can.
We have a chromelic, build a healing chromelic, a stone circle workshop coming up in New Hampshire, Salem, New Hampshire, and that
Nice.
is the 22nd and 23rd of April. And
That's
then
close. Okay.
yeah, and then the Heal Your Home workshop is going to be in Sacramento, California, May 7th and 8th. It's a weekend.
Nice. So
And
what
then we have a couple tours in June.
Yeah. So all the people in the US or people who are traveling can I mean are work participants limited? Do you keep it at a certain number?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming that there's
for the workshop.
cap.
For the workshop, we don't want to have more than 20 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because after that, you cannot.
It's hard. Yeah.
No, it's not hard. It's easy. It's very easy. When I have 50 people, it's easier.
Okay. You want to take? Okay. Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is that when we have 20 people, we can take care of each person. You know.
I hear you. Yeah.
Because these kind of classes are for initiating people to feeling the energies, to begin to draw solstitial quadrilateral, to feel the energies, etc. And you have to be very close, to the people, and
yeah,
because some people everybody can feel. The only problem is that a lot of people they lock their sensibility, okay, and they don't, they're afraid about that.
Right. And it's hard, sometimes it's hard to trust, right? The
Yeah, and so
senses.
they say,
Yeah.
no, I don't feel anything, no, I don't feel, I, I, I hope not to feel anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but after, when they begin to feel, they are very, very happy. You know, it's a new world, you know, for them.
That's amazing. Well, whoever's in the area around that time, Christy, my assistant, has shared your links via the chat. So you can get information at energeticgeometry.com. They're on Instagram, very present on Instagram, Facebook, and you've got a YouTube channel. Yeah, so Energetic Geometry. Amazing. So, okay, we're going over a little bit, but let's, celebrate the equinox. It's coming up. A couple tips, pieces. You've got something called an equinox challenge. Is that active? Is that something that's happening, or can you share
Okay,
just
well,
a little bit?
the challenge didn't exactly happen. We didn't have enough people.
Okay. Well, we can,
have some tips.
yeah. Well, then perfect. Perfect. We'd love to hear the tips and the impulse behind the challenge. Yeah.
The impulse was to help people actually feel the energy of the equinox sun, because when the sun rises, there is a very special quality of energy that happens only one day, well, 2 days a year on both equinoxes. It's the sun, it moves slightly every single day. And so the it's always changing. And with solstices, you have a time period where the sun is slowing, and then it stops, and then it goes back. And so you have a window of opportunity. With the equinox, it's one single day that you can.
Is it a day, or is it a moment in time
A
during the
moment of
sunrise?
time, a moment of time. So the sunrise, if you get up early,
Is it tomorrow that we get up early, or
Yeah,
21st? Okay.
tomorrow. So tomorrow, get up early, and
Oh, right. Okay. I know. Of course. What
What's
time? I know. Dominique's.
What's the sun?
Yeah.
watch the
What's the
sun,
sun?
because special things happen. If I was watching the sunrise every day when the sun was out here, because it's cloudy a lot, and when the sun rays hit the land, the energy changes like that. And you can also, as you feel it rising, you can also feel how your body is grounded, how the energy moves up the your chakra system, and it's a spiritual energy. And then for equinox, and I haven't felt this, so I hope the sun is there tomorrow. And Brittany,
So
Go ahead.
I can bring some other tips. So in our
So excited. I'm going to wake up early tomorrow. Yeah.
in our tradition, we qualify, you know, the three main times of the sun. The summer solstice, we say, is victory. It's the Athena Nike, it's victory. Okay, and the sun of the equinox is beauty, and the sun of the winter solstice is wisdom. So we have
The virtues.
the three like that, which is
Like that.
like that, the three like that, you know, which is victory, beauty, and wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's for that reason that some temples of initiation are tilted to the winter solstice, because you are initiated to the wisdom. Okay, and the energies are softer, so you can get big impulse.
I love this. Amazing.
The
Wow.
other tip for the equinox is that is the perfect day to make flower essences.
You were talking about something about gathering the water, was it?
Yes, yes. This is an alchemist technique. Now, they take a sheet, and they go on the land to wet to get the dew.
The dew off of the leaves, or
Okay.
or it just probably accumulates on that sheet, right?
Yes.
In early morning. Yeah.
Yes. And after that you
squeeze it.
You squeeze it.
Right? Wring it out.
And you are going to get a special, very special water with a very special energy.
Amazing.
And each equinox has its different quality. Equinox of spring is light, okay, white, yellow, yellow light, okay, and the autumn equinox is orange, is a kind of more sexy.
Yeah, so you could have all these perfumes and essences.
Absolutely.
Oh, amazing. Aphrodisiacs versus, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
For the spring, when you gather that water, you can, or after, put the flowers on, and you make your water essence with that.
Anyone who's interested in concocting their own healing medicines, yeah, that's an amazing tip. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm for sure gonna wake up in the morning. I do face east here, so I'm gonna wake up in the morning. Thank you for that. I mean, reminder for me. And yeah, we've forgotten, right? Our cultures have forgotten about these simple yet very profound rituals.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was such a pleasure to have both of you on. I mean, we've gone quite a bit over. I'm sure there are some questions. I hope that you can stay on for about 10 more minutes to answer any questions from our participants. So we're opening up the Q&A. Does anyone have any questions while you have Karen and Dominique here? Sometimes it takes a bit of a delay, a moment for them to answer or to send questions. That's what I meant. From Heather, do you take tours to Santa Fe?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea, Heather. Yeah.
No, we are planning to make a tour of the ancient mounds of Ohio, Indiana, because we were researching about that, and we found fantastic things about that. And maybe we're going to do something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and Heather follows up here. That would be fun. Then stay in an Earth ship elsewhere in New Mexico, in Taos. Maybe you've already, I don't know if you've already been there, but I guess.
No, we haven't been in any Earth ships.
So maybe Heather is from Taos. I don't know. A few other questions streaming through. Okay, Kathy is asking, maybe Kathy joined a bit later. They shared where they're located. She's asking, where are you located in the moment in France?
Yeah, Brittany, France.
Brittany, yeah. This is from Tammy. Would you define spirit of the land as the energy frequencies from within?
Uh, I don't understand really the question. Spirits of the land, I
Spirits of-
understand. I understand. So the
So
frequency, what,
would you define spirit of the land
yeah.
as the energy frequencies from within? And Tammy, do you mean from within our soul, within ourselves? So as the energy frequencies from within.
I don't understand energy frequencies.
The vibrations.
The, you want Earth, something like that.
Would you define spirit of the land as the energy frequencies from within? Tammy, can you follow up with that and expand on your question a bit more?
Because the spirit of the land, we can define that. Spirit of the lands are the devas of the land, for example. Okay, they are the spirit of the water, the spirit of the earth, the spirit of the air, the spirit of fire, etc. Okay, we have also the devas of the trees, for example, and of course, when you are going to make whatever kind of work in any land, you have first to refer to the spirit of the place, if he is okay or not. Because if he doesn't, he's not okay, you are going to have a lot of problems.
A lot of trouble, yes.
Lot of trouble. Okay, so this is the first thing. But I don't understand frequency. We talk about frequency, for example, because we have the frequencies of the crust of the earth, for example. For example, in the equator, the frequency of the crust of the earth is 47 hertz. Here we are, for example, in Brittany at the 48 parallel, okay, and our frequency is around 71 hertz. So, but there is no really a link between the spirits of the land and the frequency of the place.
Right.
It's for that reason I don't understand what is the question about frequency.
Right. Well, maybe Tammy will expand a little bit that. This is from Elaine. Thank you so much. That was mind blowing. I'm Irish. I'm Irish, and we have so many dolmens and stone circles and holy wells. I know some are being used again for healing. Thank you for some of your enlightening information on these sites. Looking forward to your book and hopefully learning from you in the future. Yes, Elaine, amazing. Yeah, start.
Ireland.
Oh, yeah. That's another place on my list of places. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a magical place. And Tammy, I mean, I hope that that was sufficient explanation. I mean, she's asking within the land. Okay. So energy frequencies within the land, I see. That's what her question was. When you said within, I was wondering, okay, is this like some kind of a from within our souls or within ourselves? Yeah. Great information. Thank you. So she said yes. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other questions streaming through? I think I'll leave just a half a minute if anybody wants to say anything else. Yeah, this was so inspiring. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And yeah, I wish you a good trip. It's coming up close, these workshops in the States. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we've got this is from Kathy. If you had an opportunity to travel in southern New Mexico, and if it was the Tularosan Basin, how did you find the energy of the location? That is located where White Sands is. Okay, I think we've got some other experts here. That is located where White Sands is located, and also some lava beds.
No, we haven't been there.
Okay.
In New Mexico where the white sand-
Tularosa Basin.
No.
Well, amazing, Kathy. You know, if you have some gems you'd like to share, please do send an email to me, my team, or connect with Karen and Dominique. Thank you. Okay, great. So, such a delight, such an honor to have you both, and I look forward to hosting you again in the future. And I wish all the best, a lot of fun in your workshops, and we look forward to reading your new book.
Well, thank you very much for hosting us. This was a fabulous experience. And thank you. And we look forward to going to Turkey.
Yes, 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 please. And let's go to Göbekli Tepe together too.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Let's go there.
I just added that to the list. Didima, and Temple of Artemis. Temple of Artemis.
We have to see Astarte. Because Astarte, the foot of Astarte are like that.
Oh, like the goose foot.
Like the goose foot.
Like the summer equinox and winter sunrises.
Oh.
That's that.
Yes.
That's that thing.
Oh my God, I'm gonna learn.
It shows the angle of.
It shows the angles
of the between equinox and the sunrise of the summer solstice sunrise and the winter solstice.
I just feel like touring around Turkey with you will be so mind blowing. So yeah, I'm just gonna come with my notes. I'll just be writing my notes, and no, I'll be tuning in with you.
Of course.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, it was beautiful. Thank you. We wish you safe travels and an inspiring workshop. And thank you. It's such an honor. Before you close, I'm just gonna remind everyone tomorrow we are on live at 10 a.m. again Eastern Time with Abhay Mohan Wadhwa. He is working with healing frequencies with artificial light, with lighting design. He is really pushing the envelope with light technology, and he is working on buildings, architecture all around the world with his team, and they're doing a lot of research around mental illness and wellness on this topic. And he's going to talk about the balance between dark and light, shadows and light, and how to really create music with and poetry with light, with illuminating spaces in architecture. So don't miss it. It's going to be amazing. And then the next day is Amanda Gates, our feng shui interior design expert. So it's very rich. Thank you so much for being part of this circle. We wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Much.
Yeah.
Bye.